Here we go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to what I'd like to call our Wednesday test. That is, on the weekend before, I will send you through 8 randomly dealt hands, and it's your chance to have a look at those 8 hands and decide by looking at the hands in a double dummy basis. Double dummy means that you can see all 4 hands. You can suggest what you think the option or how you think the option should go and how you think the play should go as well. Do that in advance. I think it's a good idea to write it down on the hand record that you have and just see how that compares to the decisions that I take at the table. So I've looked at the hands from a bidding perspective. I haven't really looked at them from a play perspective yet. So the bidding is written down on each one of the hands, and then we'll play it card by card. But let's look at the hands in an individual basis first. So your dealer, your north, it's nil vulnerable. Now it's interesting that I said that, in that there's 2 important factors when I pick up a hand at bridge. I always look at whether I'm in first seat or not, or second seat, etc. And then I also look at the vulnerability. Now, there's times when you can take slightly more aggressive actions. One of those is in first position, believe it or not. In second position, the need to take a more aggressive approach to opening the bidding decreases because already one of your opponents has passed, if that makes sense to you. So first position, neither of your opponents have passed. Therefore, it's always a good idea, if you're going to choose a slightly aggressive action, first seat is a good seat to do so. Another seat to do so is third seat, which we're all quite well aware of. Third seat, once it goes past pass, you can take aggressive actions because it's likely that the player in fourth seat has a good hand. Just before we launch into the lesson, I've had some news from the Australian Bridge Federation about our likelihood that we can open up some duplicate sessions very soon, everyone. So I'll be in touch soon, and the duplicate sessions will be on BBO. So if anyone doesn't have a BBO account, I can send through the video of how to set yourselves up. Okay, hand number 1. And please, everyone, ask lots of questions in the chat box. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the hands in particular. Starting number 1. Okay. This looks like to me, I would tend to rate that as still a minimum opening hand. It's 13 in high cards. It does have it's a 6 losers, but I don't think it's worthy at this stage of a jump rebid. So I'm going to open 1 spade. Next hand, close to an intervention, but I'm not quite so sure about that. Would I have opened this hand 1 club? No. So that's normally my yardstick in relation to whether I should overcall at the 2 level or not. Overcalls at the 1 level, as you often hear me say, you can be aggressive. Overcalls at the 2 level, however, you need to be slightly more careful about. And this is one of those hands I think it's a bit too borderline. I wouldn't have opened 1 club, therefore I won't overcall 2 clubs. Well, yes, Anthony's just asked if you could double on that hand. Double's not a bad choice. But I always think with marginal hands to double, I worry about partner bidding the 3-card suit, and how will I feel if partner does bid the 3-card suit? Well, I've got 3 small in that suit. It'd be great if they bid hearts or clubs. And perhaps the double is, again, slightly marginal, 10 points. I wouldn't crime double, but it wouldn't be my first choice. South, well, partners opened a spade. You notice how it was probably lucky that East didn't overcall 2 clubs, because South had a big, huge penalty double of any club contract. But South's got 10 points. Some of you may have read my newsletter last night, where I'm often asked by players about the 2/1 bidding system. Now, a 2/1 bidding system is when the response at the 2 level promises enough points for game. Now, I'm not a big believer in that system. It's widely played in the United States, and it's grown some traction in Australia. But I think any time where a bid has an enormously wide point range, such as a 1 no trump response. And in fact, on this hand, playing 2 over 1, you would be forced to bid 1 no trump. And that means that that point range is somewhere between about 6 and 12 high card points. And if you err on the lower side, let's say 5 and 12 high card points, that's why I'm not a great fan of the 2 over 1 game force system. I know some of you have probably seen it at other clubs and had lessons from teachers, but you can count me out. Okay, I'm going to bid 2 clubs showing 10 plus points on this hand. West passes and partner. Again, I'm not convinced that this hand is worthy of a jump to 3 spades and a commitment to game. So I'm simply going to bid 2 spades. And if my partner invited me after that, I would go on to game. I bid 2 spades, East passes. South, well, 10 points opposite a minimum opening hand. This hand looks like it's good, not good enough to go any further. So I think I'd be happy to pass. So that's the end of the auction. Finishes in 2 spades. And now we're going to play the cards. So let's select an opening lead from the East hand here. Any thoughts about an opening lead? I don't think I would lead a club through dummy's ace queen, lest declarer may take a club finesse at trick 1 and may be able to throw away some sort of losers. So I think I'm going to start off by, pardon me, options. There we go. So I'm going to start off by leading a mud diamond. I don't want to lead a singleton trump. I don't want to lead away from ace queen of hearts. So let's start with a mud diamond. This is an unbid suit, so I'm allowed to lead mud. So I lead the 5 of diamonds, and declare this is what you're faced with. What would be the line of play that you should choose? It looks pretty straightforward to me. It looks like a hand where I'm going to lose 2 hearts. I'm going to lose 1 spade, perhaps a 2nd spade. And in diamonds, I'm not going to lose anything. And I'm on the club finesse for 9 or 10 tricks, depending on how many spades I lose. So I think I am going to use an entry to dummy at trick 1. So I think at trick 1, I'll play the queen of diamonds from dummy and use up that entry so that I can lead towards the spades. Let's do that. 3 of spades. East plays low. Well, I don't have a crystal ball here, everyone. I don't know that West has ace 10 to 4 spades. So I'm simply going to play a top honor, and that wins the trick. Okay. Should I cross to dummy and repeat that play? Well, it won't do me any good, because even if there is ace 10 another spade here, West won't rise with the ace. And if they play low, I'm certainly not going to insert the 9. I mean, as I said, I wish that we had a crystal ball at the table and we can see all of these things, but you don't. So at trick 3, now I'm just simply going to lead the queen of spades. East throws away, sorry, pardon me, let's take that back. East throws away an encouraging heart here to say to partner, when you get in, partner, I'd love to see a heart played. Dummy follows suit, and West wins the ace of spades. Well, West can see a natural trump trick here, so there's no purpose in leading away from the singleton club. There's no spades in dummy, so their 10 can't be finessed. So why not simply play a heart and switch to lead low light? So the low heart says to partner, I like this suit. Clara plays low. East wins the queen. And East can see that for partner to like the suit, they must hold the king. East follows on with the ace of hearts and plays a 3rd round of hearts. And Declara trumps in. Well, Declara, what are your thoughts from here? Is it possible to play on what they call a reduction, where we can reduce the trumps enough so that we're in dummy to finesse or to play what we call a trump reduction and then a trump coup through West? No. there isn't enough of those. So I think I'm simply going to play the jack of spades. East follows with the 9. And then I'm going to play a club and try to take the finesse, which wins, and simply just play a bunch of winners. And eventually West will take a trump trick. And that's what they do. And then we finish off with the last 2. So let's play the last 2 cards, 8 of hearts, and that way we'll see how many tricks we were left with. 9 of spades. Okay, 9 tricks taken. I think that's a reasonable result, and I think it's a fair result as well. Fair because you lost one trump trick more than you were hoping to lose. I would expect on most days to lose only 1 trump trick with that holding. But the club finesse was right. So one weighs up against the other, which means that most days one of those things is going to go wrong. You're either going to lose 2 trump tricks or you're going to lose the club finesse. And in this instance, you lost the 2 trump tricks. So 9 tricks, I think, was a pretty fair result. Few questions here. Okay, Rhonda's asked about why not lead the 4th highest of your longest suit. 4th highest, Rhonda, is very much about no trump leads more than anything. That's the go-to lead for when you're defending against no trumps. It doesn't mean it's not a good lead against suit contracts. It is a good lead. But I think that there's many other options against suit contracts where you can afford to lead shorter suits because you're not hell-bent, as you are in no trumps, of setting up your longest suit. In a trump contract, setting up your longest suit doesn't really necessarily apply. Okay, Joe's also asked a question. Can you please explain the game table on the left of the printed hands, please? The game table. Is that where it's telling you how many tricks are possible? How did you undo your bid? What did you press? I didn't undo. How did I undo? I can't remember how we went undo. Oh, we hit previous. So that's what we did, just simply hit previous. And that was a way of, this is a special part of the BBO software that you may not see all of the time. It's in the area called Hand Viewer. So if you're curious and you want to look at it, then have a look in the area of Hand Viewer on BBO. So Joe's asked, yes, about printed hands. So the little box on the corner of a hand record is always stating what is the maximum number of tricks, or what's the maximum contract that each player can make in each different suit. So if you, it's a cross, and there's no trumps, hearts, spades, hearts, diamonds, clubs, and then there's also a player, north, east, south, and west. And if you join the 2 together, or if you cross the line like a graph, it'll tell you that east can make 3 clubs, or whatever it is on each hand. I'm not talking about this hand in particular. Or west can make 6 hearts. And it doesn't mean 6 tricks, it means a contract of 6 hearts. I hope that explains things on the hand record. Okay, let's move on to hand number 2. Well, this is interesting because tomorrow there's a lesson on raising minor suits. Now, we learned about Bergen raises yesterday with the majors. With the minors, there isn't such a rush to necessarily play anything too tricky with minor suit raises. Tomorrow, I want to talk to you about the philosophy about minor suit raises and when you should or shouldn't count shortage points, for example. So that's more what we'll talk about tomorrow with minor suit raises. I am going to introduce something towards the end in tomorrow's lesson. That's for people who've heard about something called inverted minor. So I will discuss that, but most of tomorrow about minor suit raises is a lot about the philosophy behind minor suit raises. When should you raise a minor, or when should you prefer instead to bid no trumps? Or should you be counting shortage points when it comes to raising minors, etc.? All of those things. So what I've done on this hand is to show you simply what the methods are that Ron and I would play with our minor suit raises. East hand has a big hand. I think it's about 19 points. 19 points imbalanced. If partner made a one-level response, you'd probably almost certainly find ourselves in game on this hand. But what's happened is when I opened one diamond, I'm too good for one no trump, not good enough for two no trump. Partner, in response to that, bid three diamonds. And the way we play that in the minors is exactly the same way it's played in the majors if you're playing Bergen raises. Now, I'm not suggesting necessarily that you play this, but that's the method that I play, and that's what I promised to show you today. So one diamond past three diamonds, that would say for Ron and I, 5 or more diamonds. You could do it on the odd hand with 4. Someone's asking a question about sound. If you have no sound, it'll be about your speaker. It'll be about your speaker. It won't be because I've muted. The reason when I mute people who are in a lesson, that's because so they can't speak. It's not so they can't hear me. So it'll be all about your speaker on the computer. Okay, so let's continue on. 3 diamonds here, and that's saying, partner, I'm very weak here, 0 to 5, but I've got a hell of a fit for you. And that would be a perfect description on this west hand. North, well, at that level, I don't want to get involved. Perhaps I might have gotten involved over a 2 diamond bid. And you'll notice here, everyone, that I didn't count the singleton heart in my point range when it came to adding it up. I've got 4 high card points and a singleton. Some people may say that's 7 points. But like I suggested with Bergen raises, don't count your shortages. And especially in a minor, we'll discuss this tomorrow. In a minor, the most likely game contract that your side will get to will be 3 no trump. So your singleton is absolutely no use to partner at all. So on this particular hand, don't count it. Simply make a preemptive raise to 3 diamonds, and partner will know now that you've got 0 to 5 points. A hell of a diamond fit. So 3 no trump doesn't look like a good shot. You might take 7 tricks in no trumps. That is 5 diamonds and 2 aces. But after that, I can't see you getting anywhere near 3 no trump. So a disciplined pass is the way to go. Okay, now opening lead. Our contract is 3 diamonds, and South needs to lead against a 3 diamond contract. Well, I think I'm going to choose to lead away from my stronger major suit honor rather than my weaker major suit honor here. So I think I'm going to lead the 5 of hearts. Well, the play on this hand, when I look at it, looks pretty straightforward, although I'm keen to get these clubs played early so that I can set up the 10 and throw away a spade. And what I'm trying to do there, everyone, is to not give myself a guess of where the king and the jack of spades are. So that's going to be the plan in my mind. And that is, so I'm not going to start trumping hearts and dummy. I want to use those to eventually get back to the 10 of clubs. So immediately win the lead with the ace. Now, has anyone ever heard of something called a discovery play? Now, the North player has a choice of playing either the jack or 10 of hearts or the king of hearts. Now, we know from partners lead that they don't hold the ace because they don't lead low away from an ace against a trump contract. They've either got maybe they've led a mud card, yeah, because that's the 3 is still missing from North's point of view, or they've led away from the queen. So the discovery play of the 10 or the jack here will tell you whether partner's got the queen or declarer has the queen. Something to remember when defending against trump contracts. So let's play the 10 here, and declarer wins the ace. So North now knows or has discovered South holds the queen of hearts. Could be good when it comes to making a decision later on. Well, declarer, I don't think we're going to beat around the bush here. Let's draw our trumps out. And they're 2-1. That's good. So South can probably afford to discard a heart here, I think, rather than a spade. I don't think I want to give anything away in the signaling department yet. And North follows suit. So the trumps are gone. Now, time to set up that 10 of clubs over there. Let's start by playing the Queen of clubs. I'm going to play low here at this point in time, in case my partner's king is very short. The partner does win the king. Partner continues on by leading a low heart, knowing that you have the queen. Well, you play the 9 because that's all you need to play, and dummy trumps in. Dummy continues with the club play to the jack and ace. And now you can see that it's important that the first discard I made wasn't from the club suit. Why? Because I wanted to keep length with dummy. If I'd thrown away the low club early, the baby club in dummy would have become an extra trick for declarer to throw away 2 spades. So that's why it was important to discard from a suit where you can afford to discard, especially in a trump contract. Well, the ace of clubs is 1 now, and now we can continue with another heart. Now, question, why didn't I play a spade here? Well, the reason I didn't play a spade is because of the exact position of the suit. If I had played a spade, declarer could insert the 10, and that would force out the king, and both the ace and the queen would become winners. So that's why I wanted to, this was a hand where I needed to be passive rather than aggressive in the defense. I don't want to give away too many overtricks. I continue with the queen of hearts, dummy trumps in. And now dummy plays that 10 of clubs, throwing away or discarding a spade. And luckily now we've got the 9. South has the 9 sitting over the 4 here. And in the end, what will happen now is that West will basically play a club, declarer trumps in, and then declarer plays the last 2 trumps. Low spade. Now make sure you play low in second seat here. Ace wins. 10 of diamonds. Hoping someone might do something silly. But North has counted the cards, and North knows that they can afford, obviously, to throw away the heart because declarer can't have any more. Otherwise, they would have trumped a heart in dummy. And the last spade goes to North. Now, I think that's an interesting hand from the bidding perspective. I think it's interesting in the sense that it's possible to play something called preemptive raises in the minors. Imagine if you were sitting with the East hand and partner had raised 2 diamonds on the West hand. I think most players would have been tempted to bid 3-no trump. And you can see on the combined hands, 3-no trump would have absolutely no play whatsoever. Let's move on to hand number 3. Everyone, please, I'd really love to hear some options on some of these hands. And I think this one's a really difficult hand to bid. The option that I've given you here hasn't gotten us to the best contract, but it's gotten to a contract that is at least makeable. So West opens the bidding with the diamond, North passes, East responds a heart. 10 points, a 5-card suit. South also passes, not good enough to get involved here. And back to West, and West bids 1 spade. Now, some of you may play a method where that would show an unbalanced hand. That is, it would show at least 5 diamonds and 4 spades, or at least maybe a triple 4-1. Some of you play that you will always simply bid a 4-card major if you've got the space to do so. Lorraine's asked a question about the previous hand, about some players with 19 points and a 5-card suit would open 2-no trump. I don't think that's a good plan, to be brutally honest. Whilst I teach people to open 2-no trump with 20 to 22 points, I personally actually like the 2-no trump opening range to be 21 to 22 points. There's also another question about how about 2-club check back getting to 2 hearts. On this particular hand, you could play. That wouldn't be a bad contract. So, but the problem is that some players may not play a check back after a one spade rebid. Helen? I mean, some do, but I'm not sure it's a widely used method amongst club players. So the two club check back here, or the two club bid here, instead of one no trump, would simply be fourth suit forcing. So the hand's not quite good enough for that. When North does pass over one spade, and it comes to East, it's your second bid East. Several choices to make. Do you bid one no trump? Do you jump to two no trump, showing about 10 to 12 points? Or do you repeat your heart suit? Some people may be tempted to do that with a ace king to 5. I think that it's a good idea to stick with the principle of rebids of suits tend to be 6 card suits, unless of course partner has rebid one no trump. And then you've probably got a case for repeating a good 5 card major. But in this instance, partner didn't bid one no trump, they bid one spade. So I think I'm going to take the low road, as I tend to do on a lot of hands at match point bridge, and that is not be too aggressive with game invitations. So this is only 10 points. I'm just going to simply rebid one no trump. James asked a question, what about just one diamond, one heart, one no trump? Not on the West hand, Jane, because the West hand has a 5-4 distribution with 2 suits they can comfortably bid at the 1 level. So I would advise against rebidding one no trump on the West hand. I would most certainly bid one spade. Well, anyway, I chose one no trump on the second round, taking the low road, and that became the final contract. So let's look at the play here. One no trump. There we go. So what would be your opening lead choice? I think that's pretty easy. They bid diamonds, hearts, and spades. So I'm going to lead our 4th best club. After all, I'm leading against a no trump contract. So 4th highest from our longest and strongest, whether we have the ace or not, is very legitimate. Well, what are the thoughts, Declara? Well, I think I'm going to play this pretty straight up. I think I'm definitely going to play the king of clubs from dummy at trick 1. I'll have a look at it just from the viewpoint of declare and dummy, not knowing exactly how the suits are breaking. And then I think my best option is to play for probably the hearts to break 3-3 and use the king of diamonds as an entry to get back here. If I play for diamonds to be 3-3, then I still need to finally get back to the West hand with the a spade entry, but it might be a bit too slow. The opponents might have been able to get tricks going in the other suits. So I think that's my plan. My plan is to play the king of clubs in dummy, and then to play a heart and play them straight from the top. Ace, king, and another, hoping the suit breaks 3-3. Play it. Discard, I think a diamond better than a spade here. And North, the hearts do break 3-3. It's good. Now South, because partners played the 6 of clubs at trick 1, I think that was low in courage. I think South can comfortably play a low club now across the partner's hoped for queen. If partner didn't have the queen, I don't think they would have encouraged the initial club lead. So we were discussing this a bit yesterday, talking about signaling in defense, and the more lessons I give people about signaling, the more I'm going to try to encourage people play low to encourage. So queen of clubs is 1. Now you play another club out to South. East discards a diamond, West discards a diamond, they can afford it. South continues on with a couple more. I think North probably should play a discouraging diamond rather than an encouraging diamond. Discouraging, Declara follows suit with a spade. One more club. Spade. Declarer plays another spade. And then I think partners discourage diamonds, so I'm going to switch to a low spade. Queen, ace, and North returns a spade. Well, East has the rest of the tricks now. Low diamond to the king. Take your winning heart. And then the ace of diamonds at the end. Well, that was 7 tricks. So that was a score of 90. How would we have gone in 2 hearts? Well, that depends on what the opponents lead. If we play 2 hearts on the hand and they lead, let's say, the 10 of diamonds, once we play a club, the declarer will try to trump a club in dummy, then I think it might lead to 8 tricks in a heart contract. You'll eventually take 1 spade, 4 hearts in hand, 2 diamonds, and a club. 1 spade, 4 hearts, 2 diamonds, a club. That's 8 tricks, and you might even score a 9th trick. So the 1 no trump bid didn't work out so well. Repeating the hearts might have worked on this hand better, but I don't think that the repeating the 6-card suit is genuinely a good try. So let's try hand number 4. Well, this hand's quite exciting actually, because we get a bit of action. Well, West has passed and North has opened a vulnerable 2 hearts. A 2 no trump overcall after a weak 2 bid is akin to a 1 no trump overcall after a 1 level bid. So this 2 no trump bid here promises 15 to 18 balanced with a heart stopper. Well, when I'm looking at this south hand, if my partner's got a vulnerable weak 2 bid, I think there's a good chance we can defeat 2 no trump when I've got 14 points sitting over the top of the bidder. So I'm willing to try and take a penalty double of 2 no trump. Why? Because my opponents are vulnerable. Now, if I can get the magic plus 200 on this hand, I think that's going to hold us in, give us a great score. So I'm doubling 2 no trump. Now, once the opponents double you in a no trump contract, whether that be a 2 no trump contract or a 1 no trump contract, then the player bidding after that, the partner, should be able to bid naturally by running to a long suit. Well, West has a 5-card club suit. Now, a lot of you probably think that this would be Stayman. Yep. A few questions here just before I go on. Matt is a weak 2 bid because of the great shape. The weak 2 bid for the North hand, I think, is exactly that reason. It's because of the extra shape. Now, you've probably found me constantly telling you that you need 3 of the top 5 honors when you're vulnerable. Well, you've got that. The shape, the 4-card diamond suit on the side is actually an attractive part of the hand. And I think that this hand, some may think is marginal for a vulnerable weak 2. I don't. And the extra shape gives me some security. So good question. Okay? Diane's asked me again about the 2 no trump bid. The 2 no trump bid is the same as a 1 no trump overcall after a 1 level bid. So after week 2, 2 no trump shows the same type of hand as after a 1 level bid that 1 no trump would say. A few other questions. Can you open 2 diamonds weak, major, 8 points? You mean with a multi-2 bid? I think that question from Xander is a multi-2, if you can confirm that. And there's another question here. Can you use Stayman after the double? I don't think you should. I think that, and that's why if this hand in between didn't double, then I think a 3-card bid would be Stayman. But because this hand has doubled, then the priority for East-West is to run from the contract that is doubled. And if it's a no trump contract that's doubled, East-West want to try to run to their longest fit. And we're hoping with the West hand holding a 5-card club suit, that the club suit is the best option. And that's why 3 clubs should be a natural call after the first double. So 3 clubs here, natural 5 or more clubs, North passes, East passes. And because I've got 4 trumps, I'm willing to give it another shot, and I'm willing to double the opponents in 3 clubs. So what should we lead against 3 clubs doubled? Well, I can't see any reason not to lead from partner's heart suit. So, oh, pardon me, I'm not even on the lead. So North's on lead. So what should North lead? I think the Jack of Diamonds looks like a good shot, don't you? Jack of Diamonds rather than a heart, because you shouldn't want to lead away from the ace. So that's the lead we're going to choose for, sorry, pardon me, just going to fix this up. Select all 4 players' cards, good. And we're going to choose the Jack of Diamonds here. Well, Declara, this looks pretty straightforward, doesn't it? I think getting into the trump suit is the best option for you. So don't beat around the bush. Let's win the ace of diamonds straight away. South plays, you could play an encouraging 3 South, or you could also play the king, which is like that alarm clock signal that says to partner, I know you've led the Jack probably from Jack 10. I'm a little bit reticent to play the king here because my partner might have led the Jack of Diamonds from Jack Doubleton. So I'm going to just simply encourage low here, and Declara wins the trick. Well, Declara, I think it's a good idea to simply go straight after trumps. And the 9 of clubs goes. So where should we go from here? Well, we've still got a baby club out against us, including the ace king. I think we had better continue on with partner plays a low heart, encouraging heart. Dummy plays the 10 and South wins the king. Well, I think partner's diamond lead was a good start. So let's continue on with those diamonds. Let's play the king of diamonds. West follows. And let's play another diamond. Well, Declara has to trump that. Now, Declara's got a bit of a difficult situation here. If they play another trump, what's going to happen is that South will play an extra diamond, and then North-South will be left with all of those, with the trump control on the hand. If they don't play an extra trump, South's probably going to take 2 trump tricks. So what does West do here? I think because North probably doesn't have the entries, I think I might simply just start playing, first of all, start by playing a heart towards the king. Well, North wins the ace. And North continues with another heart. East plays the king. Now, again, Declara still has an issue. If they play a trump here, then it's likely that South will win the ace and start playing more red suit winners and deplete Declara of trumps. So Declara is probably simply going to have to continue to play the ace of spades. Queen of spades. North throws a heart and the jack of spades, and South simply trumps in. Declara wishes they could over trump, but they can't. South takes the ace of clubs now. And then Declara takes the last trump. What was the upshot of that? Upshot of that was 8 tricks. So that's 1 trick short, and it's vulnerable. So plus 200 to North-South. That's hopefully that would be a very good result, I think, for North-South. Let's continue on. Oh, this is an exciting hand. Okay. North dealer, North-South are vulnerable, East-West are not vulnerable. A great opportunity when you have a preemptive hand. So North opens the bidding with their longest minor of 1 club. I hope none of you think that 1 diamond is the correct opening on this hand. I'm not a big fan of opening the 4-card diamond suit ahead of the 5-card club suit. I have a friend who's one of the best bridge teachers in the world who thinks that this hand should be opened 1 diamond rather than 1 club. And I mean, what would he know? He's only trained 20 world champion teams. But I like a 1 club opening bid. So one club from north and east at favourable vulnerability with an 8-card suit should simply overcall 4 spades as a preemptive bid. South. Now, south has a difficult hand to bid. If you bid your heart suit, you would be presuming that that's going to become the trump suit at the 5 level. And you have no reason to think that this hand should be played in hearts any more than it should be played in diamonds. Sue's asked a question. East-West had an 8-card spade fit. What would redouble by West have indicated? You mean on the previous hand, Sue? Good question. So redouble would have said, yes, perhaps we could play in 2 different types or 2 different suits. I have a 2-suited hand. But as it turns out, 3 spades doubled would have scored no more than 8. In fact, I think it might have only gotten 7 tricks. So they did get to a fit. Some people play the redouble as saying, well, partner, I think we might be able to make 2 no trumps redoubled. I'm with you though. A redouble would tend to be a rescue option, and that could be an option where it says to partner, maybe I've got 2 suits, or alternatively, you could play the redouble as saying, partner, I've got 1 suit, and then a bit of a suit to say I've got that suit and a higher suit. So lots of options on that hand. Now back to this one in question. Instead of bidding hearts, I think a double here, which is a takeout double, even though it's at such a high level, will say to partner, I want you to bid. More often than not, partner will pass. But on the hand in question, what happens after West passes is that North has a 2-suited hand of their own. They have clubs and diamonds. Now, they don't know whether you have some clubs or whether you have some diamonds. So North would make a 4-no trump bid saying, partner, I've got 2 suits. You may remember that from a question Jane's asking, why is the double for takeout? The reason it's for takeout is because it's the most beneficial choice after the opponent's preempt. So on the first round of an auction, especially when you haven't had a chance to bid, all doubles up to 4 spades should be takeout on your first choice. They should say to partner, I want you to bid. If you've got a penalty double, sometimes it means that you miss out, but the odds are very much in favor that you will have a takeout double more than a penalty double. And there's been a lot of discussion over this for a lot of years, and I think that the consensus is that double for takeout is a much better choice than double for penalties. So the 4-no trump bid says, I know you want me to take it out, and 4-no trump says, I've got 2 different places to play, partner. It could be clubs is 1, and I've got another suit. Well, you would be happy if partner's got diamonds or hearts for their other suit. It won't be spades because they would pass the double. So you simply bid 5 diamonds, which is pass or correct. Pass if diamonds is your second suit, partner. Bid 5 hearts if hearts is your second suit. So that's known as a pass or correct bid. Or partner passes because diamonds is their second suit. So we're playing 5 diamonds. You might have been tempted to bid 6 diamonds on this hand, but I think it's too much for us to ask for partner to hold the appropriate cards for us to be able to make 6 diamonds. So we're in 5 diamonds. We're going to play this hand, and Avril's asked a question, does South's double imply he has the other 2 suits? Yes, it does actually. Or they have the other major and support for partners opened suit. Elizabeth's asking a question as well. How does the bidding go if North opened 1 diamond? I think with the South hand over 1 diamond, I don't think I would double. I think I would raise diamonds immediately. Elizabeth, that's a good question. Another question, why does the 4-no trump indicate the other 2 suits? Well, in the lesson that I gave about when the opponents preempt against you, 4-no trump is always a good option to say, partner, I've got 2 suits in my hand. Yep. If you had 1 suit, you would bid it. If you had a balanced hand, you certainly wouldn't choose 4-no trump as a natural bid. And in fact, on the hand in question, if you had a balanced hand, you would simply pass the double of 4 spades for penalties. So that's why 4-no trump is actually saying, partner, I've got 2 different suits. Okay, we've landed in 6 diamonds and West is on lead. Well, West, you're definitely going to lead a spade, aren't you? Partner's suit. Okay, so how do we play this hand? I'm hoping that perhaps we can set up the hearts. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to aim to trump as many hearts as I can in dummy and get back and forward. Elizabeth asked, if partner responds diamonds, would you use 4-no trump? Open diamonds, would you use 4-no trump? Yes, I might have been tempted with 5 card support, Elizabeth. Yeah, especially if it's partner's first bid suit, which means they are likely to hold 5 cards. So you might have tempted me to use launch into slam with the south hand. So now I'm playing in 4 hearts. And as I said, my aim is to trump as many trump hearts as I can in the short trump hand. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to play a low heart to the ace, and then a second heart, trumping in dummy. Well, so far so good. Okay, now, do we cross back to our hand with the ace of clubs? That looks like a good choice at this point in time. And trump another heart and dummy. We need to trump 2 more hearts and dummy to be able to ruff all the hearts high. That might be a difficult problem coming back and forth, but let's give it a go. So now we play a low club, which we win with the ace, and we trump another heart in dummy. East card over trump, so they discard a spade. So we can afford 1 round of trumps. And then maybe we can trump a club in our hand. How's this going? Pretty well, I think. The last heart draws the king, gets trumped. Now we just need to survive, and we will survive because there's only 2 trumps out against us. So we draw both of those. Now our last 2 hearts are the only 2 hearts in the pack. And that was an underbid 13 tricks. Now, some of you may ask, why didn't I go to slam on the south hand? I found over the years that if the opponents preempt you, if they preempt you hard, then it's normally better to take the low road rather than take the high road in relation to expecting partner to have the perfect cards. Well, some people may have tried 6 diamonds on the hand. I was happy to try 5, and the other people who bid 6 would have scored much better than me. So let's go on to the next hand. Okay. East has a strong no trump, and West has a simple transfer to spades. Printout says 6, excellent, making 7. Well, I think the printout says 6, Camilla, because if West had led a club, that would have taken one of my entries away. How do we know 4-no trump is not Blackwood? Well, good question, Jan, on the previous hand. The reason 4-no trump is not Blackwood is because North-South had not set a suit at that point in time. So there doesn't appear to be much purpose in playing Blackwood when you haven't actually set a suit. Let's look at this hand. This is a good hand for something that we call a super accept. Well, West initially intends to transfer with only 7 points to spades, and if partner bids 2 spades, I would pass with the West hand. But what happened after the transfer of 2 hearts is the partner made what we refer to as a super accept. And that super accept said they have 4 or more card support, so that's a 9 card fit. Remember yesterday speaking a lot about 9 card major suit fits. So that's great news for West. And it also says they have a maximum hand. If they had a minimum hand with 4-card support, they would simply jump to 3 spades. So here it's a maximum hand because they didn't bid 3 spades, and it's saying I've got 3 or 4 clubs, and perhaps you might be able to help me in the club suit. Well, partner most certainly can help you here. They were going to accept whatever you said that you had after a super accept. So West is definitely just simply going to bid 4 spades. Now, some players like to play another transfer here of bidding 3 hearts over to 3 spades, but I can tell you that there's times when that's gone awfully wrong. So anyway, at this point, on this hand, West becomes declarer in 4 spades. North has to choose an opening lead. So what would you choose to lead on the North hand? I think the Queen of Clubs looks like, because dummies advertise some sort of weakness in that suit. So how about we try that? How about we try the Queen of Clubs? Okay. Interesting hand for declarer. Well, it looks like they've now set up a club loser for you. But if you look closely at the hearts, we've got 3 top hearts. Look, I think a good choice on this hand may be to win the ace of clubs, cash the king, queen of hearts, cross to the ace of diamonds, take the ace of hearts, throwing our club, and then try to cross trump the rest of the tricks. See how that goes. Ace. Encouraging. 2. Small heart. Small. Queen. King of hearts. And then a low diamond across to the ace. Ace of hearts. Discarding our club. And then we've got these losing diamonds over here. So we now need to make sure that we try and rough those losers in dummy. So I'm going to play a low diamond and see where that leads us. In fact, let's play the low diamond, and let's play the 10 here because South can afford it. Well, I'm not going to fall for that trick. I'm going to duck it, and North wins the king. Well, now things are looking pretty good, are they? Well, not for an eagle-eyed defender like North. There's something that North can do here because North now knows that nobody has any hearts left. So if North plays the jack of hearts, declarer is stuck. Declarer needs to discard, and South scores the jack of spades. Oh, that hurts. South plays another diamond. And I think I'm going to hope that South has maybe the 10 of spades as well. So I'm going to trump with the ace of spades here rather spectacularly and play another heart. Well, that doesn't do us any good because declarer's got nothing but the rest of the top trumps. It simply plays off top trumps. Well, still not a bad result, everyone, because East-West have still made game. And in fact, they've only lost 2 tricks. Pretty good, well, 3 tricks, pretty good result. So they've lost the king of diamonds and 2 trumps. So bidding and making 4 spades, not bad. Okay, let's go on, a couple more. Squeeze through them quickly. Pass from South. Not quite good enough, 9 points, a 5-5. Now, this West hand is contentious as to whether they would open or not. Well, I mentioned something at the start of the lesson. One of the best positions to be more aggressive with your opening bids is first seat. In second seat, when an opponent has passed, I don't think you should take an aggressive action. So with this hand, I would pass. North opens a spade. East, opposite a passed hand, I wouldn't get involved in this with this anemic heart suit vulnerable. So you should pass. Thank goodness you didn't, because South was going to give you a hard time in hearts. South bids 1 no trump, showing around 6 to 9 points. West passes. North shows their second suit by bidding 2 diamonds. And South, with a maximum hand, and both of the other suits very well covered, will make a natural 2 no trump bid. It says I'm maximum for the no trump range, and I have the other 2 suits well covered. Well, North would pass that, and that would become our final contract. Now, what would be our opening lead on the West hand here? Well, North has bid spades and diamonds, so I think a low club looks definitely like the right choice. Okay. Now, the King of Clubs wins. I'm a little bit worried about, I want to set up the diamond suit, but I'm worried that if I play hearts first, the opponents might play spades and take my entry out. So I think I'm going to immediately play the diamonds rather than hearts. With the East hand, I would duck West hand rather than split the Queen Jack, everyone. And with the North hand, I would play the King rather than play low. Because if I play low, that may lose to a doubleton Queen or Jack, and I've still got an extra diamond loser. So I'm going to play the King, and then I'm going to play another diamond, and oh, sorry, I didn't mean to play the King, pardon me, previous. I meant to play low. Pardon me, previous, here we go. Ace of diamonds, and then another diamond. When they play low, I'm going to play low. And even if that loses to a doubleton honor, it's still the right play on the hand, or it turns out to be a good play. Now I'm stuck in my South hand, so I think I'm going to play the Jack of Clubs, advance the Jack of Clubs, and see where that gets us. East wins the Queen. It's hard for East not to switch to a heart at this juncture. So I think I'm going to play the 3 of hearts. And West will be forced to discard a spade, as is North follows suit. So I think another club here might be a good idea to set up an extra club winner. And West then continues on with the Queen of Spades. We cash our King of Diamonds. And we cash our Ace of Spades. And then we play another heart towards the King Jack. Well, East plays the 9, so you insert the Jack. West discards a club. And now you take the 9 of clubs here. And then you give up the last 2 tricks to East. How did that go? What was the upshot of that? 9 tricks. So not a bad hand, but very difficult hand to play when you don't have particularly good fits. Another question here, everyone, in relation to, please explain super accept. A super accept occurs when partner transfers to a major and you, the opener or the 1 no trump bidder, or the no trump bidder, have 4 cards to go with partner's 5. The fact that it's a 9-card fit means that it's a super accept. Okay, let's look at this hand, final hand. West passes. North opens a diamond. Not good enough to reverse on this hand. So the initial view of this hand is that this is a minimum hand. So you open a diamond. East passes and South bids 1 spade. North rebids 1 no trump, minimum balanced, not perfect for the 5-4-2-2, but there's not much else you could do. You could bid 2 diamonds, but I don't like doing that on the 5-card suit. And South now uses check back to find out if they've got a 5-3 spade fit. Well, the check back that I taught you the other day is North would show either a minimum at the 2 level or a maximum at the 3 level. Well, for their 12 to 14 points, they definitely hold a maximum. So with this hand, they would jump to the 3 level, and they would actually do it by bidding the 4-card heart suit. So they simply bid 3 hearts. Well, South, without knowing that North almost certainly doesn't hold 3 spades, they could, but with 4 hearts over there, I'm much happier to be playing this hand in 3-no trump, even with a 5-3 spade fit and a very poor suit. So 3-no trump becomes the final contract, and West is on lead. Well, the diamonds, spades, and hearts have been bid naturally. So West is going to start off by leading the 5 of clubs. But they're not on lead. That's not good. So as I said, East is going to start off by leading a club. And I know it's only a doubleton, but all of the other suits have been bid naturally. So why would you want to lead one of the other suits? So you start off by leading a club. Okay. Where should we go with this hand? Well, I think I would be very tempted to play low on this immediately, because then I can set up my an extra club trick. So I think that's what I would do. I would play low. West wins with the queen. And now, what does West do? Well, West could play a club back. They could also play a heart, which is dummy's singleton, or they could switch to a spade. I think I'd be more inclined to play a heart, but play back a high card so the partner doesn't think I've got anything good in hearts. Declarer, you could duck that, even though you can see your way to 9 tricks, but you know that the opponents can't hurt you at this point in time. East wins the king over the top of the queen, and then continues on the jack of hearts. Dummy discards a spade. And Declarer, I think you can afford to win that now. Now let's test the diamonds. Let's play the king and see if they're breaking. And then a low diamond across to the ace. And then we'll try a third round of diamonds. Now East-West have to start finding some discards. West discards a club. A few more diamonds here. East discards a spade. One more diamond. Another spade discard. And I think Declarer will simply play a club, cross to the ace and the king. Now when they play a spade, it doesn't matter whether they guess right or not, because East has the last 2 winning tricks. Well, that, again, 9 tricks only. May not be such a good score, but at least we got to game on the hand and we didn't get to any silly 4-spade contract. Okay, everyone, thank you very much. Tomorrow we're going to talk about minor suit raises. I think it's a good idea to, again, next time I send you those hands, to have a look and see what you would do on these hands. I will send a video of the lesson, but thank you, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye, everyone.